Hi there, this is Luise Heinzel. Welcome to another episode of my Ocean Eyes Junk Journal series. Today I would like to show you how to turn those sticky labels into some junk journal embellishments. What I'm showing you today is totally inspired by the lovely Francesca. Hi Francesca. She is Junk Journal Joy on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and in this social media world. So she will create some labels as well today. So she has a tutorial on her channel as well. So if you want to check out this technique in a little bit different way than I'm showing you today, then please check out the info box. I have linked Francesca's video down below for you. So let's get started. First of all, I would like to say that I'm using different sizes of labels. So as you can see, I have those smaller ones here, and these are the ones that I would like to start with in a second. Then I have a little bit bigger labels, and I have this one here. So this is a whole DIN A4 sheet, and it's completely sticky on the back side. It has this little thing that you can take off, and then it sticks. So I would like to combine different sizes of labels today, and I would like to show you some different ways how you can decorate them. So let's start with these smaller ones, and these I would like to incorporate into my design later. So first of all, I'm taking some distress oxide. I've decided to use vintage photo because it's, yeah, you know, very popular, and it's a really cool vintage color, and that goes really well with my Ocean Eyes ephemera pack. So I would like to use some of the ephemera pieces today that are coming with this ephemera pack, and as you can see, this matches really well. If you don't know what I'm talking about here, please check out the info box. I have a whole playlist how I make this junk journal from start to finish, and for this specific journal I'm using my paper collection that's called Ocean Eyes. It's available in my Etsy shop. You can find the link down below in the description box as well. There's yeah, an ephemera pack and also some junk journal pages. So if you want to craft along with me during this series, then you can purchase it in my Etsy shop, download it and print it at home, and yeah, cut it and do the same things or similar things like I'm doing here. Feel inspired and make your own things. So yeah, now it's brown. And as you can see, it's a really cool thing to use this whole sheet and then go over this thing with the distress oxide and such a brush. Of course, you can also take those little sponges that you can use for distressing. That's the same thing. And the interesting thing about this is when you look at the whole sheet, it seems to be, yeah, some kind of how is that called? This blurry thing. I'm a little bit confused, sorry. There are children that are running directly in front of my window, and they are crying and screaming. Hopefully it's not too noisy, sorry. When you look at the whole sheet, it looks like it's cloudy. So that was the word that I was searching for, like little clouds in this brown color. But when you look at a single piece of this sheet, then you can see that the edges are really lightly distressed, and that makes this little frame around each of those labels. And that's only because I made the whole sheet and not every single piece. Because of these little gaps, you get this really cool distressed edges. And then I would like to imitate this background that I have on my pages, the journaling cards, and yeah, some of the ephemera pieces. So here you can see this really cool vintage color, and it has these little things. I made this effect with some salt and some Easter egg dye colors, and I would like to imitate this structure or a similar structure here on this sheet. For that, so that it matches the ephemera pieces, for that I'm using some water, and then I'm trying to spritz really carefully, and I'm trying to get some really big drops out of this spray bottle. So I mean, if you spritz water from a spray bottle, oh interesting, and you press like so, then of course you will get a really fine dust of water. Don't know how to explain, but perhaps you know that it's really fine and really, yeah, you know. But when you press slowly, then you get, I have to concentrate, sorry, I can't speak, then you get this really big drops. They are, yeah, when this is finished, really interesting. Okay, so that's enough, I think. So do that really carefully so that you don't get the whole sheet full of water, because then this oxide effect that the distress oxide makes will be on your whole sheet, and that would make no sense. Wait a little bit. You can see the reaction of the ink is still beginning here. And then you take a dry thing like this. It's fazzoletti in Italian, I think. Don't know, you know what this is. I always have to think about Italian language at the moment because Francesca, yeah, she inspired me to do this project, and we talked a lot about this video and this collaboration, and I'm always thinking in Italian, so I know a few words in Italian language, but yeah. Oh my goodness, my brain has lots of work at the moment. So now I try to take my heat gun. And if you want to dry this now, then please, if you use a heat gun, be really, really carefully when you dry this, because you don't want to melt your labels. You don't want to melt this plastic that's on the back side. So you have to do it really carefully. I take this thing, yeah, in a good distance, and I do something like this when I dry it. Okay, so when this is dry, it looks like this, and I think this is absolutely awesome. I'm so in love with this effect, I can't bring it into words. And if you want to compare this with the ephemera pieces, for example, this journaling card, I think this matches really, really well. If you want to buy such labels locally, then please make sure that it says on the packaging that those are made out of paper. I mean, the surface that you want to put the ink and the water to, it has to be paper. Some of those labels that you can get have this really thin plastic surface. It's, yeah, some kind of coating with a plastic surface. I don't know how to explain that, but I think you know what I mean. And the distress oxide will not react the same when this is this plastic thing. So make sure that you have this paper labels. Now you could add some more splatters, for example, watercolor or acrylic paint or whatever you like. But I want to leave it, yeah, a little bit calm at this point. So I would like to take some stamps that have some writing on them. So I have chosen some tiny stamps that I have here, and I have decided to use the tiniest lettering that I have in my stamp collection. So for me it would make no sense for this background stamping that I want to do now to have this really big letters, because I want to see some single words and letters on each label in the end, because of course I want to use them separately. So I take this acrylic block here. Don't be confused about the color. It's a little bit black, sorry. I have to clean it, but I had no time to do that. So let me first take this one. This is a really cool stamp that was sent to me in a happy mail the other day, and also these both. I'm absolutely in love with them. So, Margaret, thank you so much. You know, I've already written you an email, and I was so happy about that. Okay, so carefully lift that up, and I try to get these. So let me show you that a little bit closer. I try to get these stamped vertically or horizontally. I don't stamp like so or in a weird way, because I want to have this background, yeah, some kind of calm, if that is possible. So if it's a little bit, you know, not straight, I don't care about that. This is also not, yeah, totally in the right line with this, yeah, and this also not, but you know what I mean. I don't care about that. And I also don't care about if the stamp is not stamping so well. I mean, if it's sometimes a little bit more black or a little bit lighter, I don't care about that. But what I try to have in mind is that I don't stamp those on top of each other. So I try to, yeah, make no confusion with these stamps here. Don't know if that makes sense. And you can also, of course, stamp across those little slots here. So then you have something of your stamp here on this row of labels, and the other part is here. And that makes the whole thing in the end more interesting. Now I want to add something that's a little bit more bold. I mean the words, this, you know. Oh my goodness. Today was such a hard day for me, and I'm really, yeah, I'm not tired, because always when I have the chance to talk to you, I'm not tired, but I'm a little bit, yeah, my feet are hurting and that stuff, because a few hours ago my colleague called me and she asked me if I can help in the little snack bar there. I mean, for all the people who don't know that, I'm working in a little snack bar here on the campsite where my caravan is. And normally today was my free day. I had only this video to do. Of course, some other things as well. But yeah, then she called and she asked me, can you please help us? There are so many people, and yeah, so I went there and I came back a few minutes ago. Just had my shower and now I'm sitting here, so please excuse if I am talking some weird things. This looks a little bit strange. I think we need some more of these smaller things. I mean, the stamp where the letters are a little bit smaller. So now you can see I have some spaces here where no stamping is until now. For those spaces, I have chosen some really tiny stamps, as you can see here. And now I would like to stamp some, yeah, really tiny focal points to those labels. Until now, I have looked at this sheet, I mean, like it is one piece. I have not put my eye on the single things here, the single labels. But now, when I try to put those focal points here, I will put my eye to every single label here. So when I, for example, think this little thing here that looks like the inside of a flower, or some, could also be some underwater thing, would match really, really well to, where is it? To these things that I have on the journaling cards. I think that fits really well. When I use this now, I try to find a place where I can stamp this so that it's a focal point on the single label. So, I mean, for example, here, on this label here, I could stamp it like so. And then this can be a focal point here on this label, and I can use it, yeah, it is a single tiny piece of art by itself. So hopefully that makes sense. Or for example, here, when I would use this in this direction, then I think this little leaf here would make sense to stamp it there. So now I'm trying to stamp the focal points with these tiny, tiny stamps. Okay, so that was not very successful because it's a little bit too much on the right side, but yeah, it looks interesting as well, I think. Sorry. Don't throw it away. Okay, so here we go. I would say this is finished for now. And as you can see, yeah, that's, I think, a really, really fast thing, a really fun thing, and also really relaxing. So I absolutely love this process of stamping these things. Okay, so for the next step, I'm going to use the bigger labels. So if you have some labels at home and you want to craft along with me, or you want to imitate this tutorial, then you can take those here, yeah, that are a little bit bigger than the others. So let me show you that you can compare this. But you can also take a bigger sheet like this and then later cut this. You will not need both of them, so it's not necessary to have 3 different sizes. But I would like to show you this second step with 2 of those sizes, so that you can see the possibilities that you have. No matter what size of label you have, it's yeah, not the problem. You can manage it so that it fits your needs. So first of all, I would like to take this thing here, and then I will do the same thing that I did on the smaller thing. I will first go over this here, over the whole sheet with my Distress Oxide ink. Okay, so we have this here now. So let's put that here, and then you may come back in a second, little label thing. For this whole sheet, I would like to take the ink pad and carefully, please do that carefully, to don't destroy your ink pad. I will go over this like so, medium pressure. Hopefully Tim Holtz will not get, you know, problems with his heart when he would see this. But this is the fastest way, and when you do that carefully, it's totally, yeah, you know, nothing will happen here. And of course this now excuse me please, looks a little bit different than the other one. And for my opinion, this is ugly. It's really strange. It's not beautiful. It's not, yeah, like this really cool blended background as here. So I will take some coffee. I have this spray bottle here. Originally, this was this Distress spray stain, but I have some coffee in here. So this bottle was empty, and I filled it up with coffee to use this spray mechanism of this thing. And now I will carefully spritz some coffee here. That will, on the one hand, make the white areas brown and vintage in this coffee color. And on the other hand, the distress oxide will react now. Now I will carefully dry this with my heat gun. Okay, so when this is dry, it looks like this. And now I would like to have some of this writing from the stamps here on this background as well, but not too much and not so much as on the other sheet and not so clear. So that means I will take some less ink and try to stamp that really randomly. And I take all of the 3 little stamps here at once. Where's my ink? Here. And now I would like to do some stenciling with a really strange medium that I've never used before. So I have shown you this little bottle here in one of my last videos, I think in the first video of this Ocean Eyes series. And in that video I said that I would like to encourage you to use also the mediums that you don't know. And probably you have something in your stash that you have for years and you've never used it because you don't perhaps know how to use it, or wrong color or whatever. There are can be some reasons why you haven't used those things. And I would like to show you that you can create really beautiful things just by using those things that you have. So I mean, use the things that you have. I say that really often in my videos, I know, but I think it's a really important thing to do that. So for this thing, I would like to take a stencil. So this stencil comes from Mariah and Patricia. Hi Mariah, hi Patricia, if you perhaps are watching, known as PM Artist Studio on YouTube and Instagram and, yeah, you know, social media world. And I would like to place this here. I've chosen this one because this reminds me to some, yeah, of these underwater florals on the one hand, and this is some kind of this skeleton thing, you know, yeah. And I like to try to get this area to the labels, and this here is also really cool. I think this here with the circles, would that fit? Let's take a look at the journaling cards and the other things from the ephemera pack. Yeah, I think that would work also really well because we have this little bubbles here. Yeah, so let's try that. So we can use, I think, the whole stencil as it is, like so. And then I will take this thing, take this spatula tool, take something out, and I think I want to put a paper underneath. Sorry. So perhaps we can just take one of our papers that we have chosen to put into the journal. So if that gets some kind of blue in the end, that would be really fine because, yeah, we need blue in the journal. So let's do it like so that we don't get our desk too messy. So take this, it's, yeah, some kind of a paste, and I will just apply it here through this really cool stencil. Whew. Okay, so don't move it. And I would like to try to get it not too thick. So I try to get some of this paste off like so that I can see the material of the stencil through the paste, because I don't want to get this later on too bulky. I mean, when this is the finished embellishment, there will be some things on top that will be bulky, and I don't want to have this structure here too heavy. So yeah, but you can do it like you want it. I think that's totally fine. Then carefully lift this up. And now we have this, and this is really cool. This is so shiny and so elegant. I really, really like that. And then I will take this here. Don't be confused about this thing. When I dried it, it made this, but that's not the problem, because now we will, take some washi tape to bring that to our table to use another stencil. And I've chosen this washi tape here because it matches the colors of the project. You will see later why I do that, because yeah, of course I will not throw away this washi tape. I will use it later within this project. And then, where's my other stencil? Here. I would like to use this Tim Holtz Stampus Anonymous, oh my goodness, what a word, stamp, you know what I mean. This was gifted to me a few days ago. Margaret, again, thank you so much. This stencil is so awesome. Yeah, I'm a little bit confused. I can do it like so. Don't do any strange things, Louisa. Just take this off again. Arc, come off. And just do it like so, so that everything is really flat here. This paste is really thick and you can apply it really easily, but of course you have to make sure that your stencil is really flat here on this surface, so that the paste can't get underneath this stencil material. And for the last one here, as you can see, I didn't use the whole stencil to show you that this can also look really interesting in the end, when this is not the full thing, you know. You see the difference. So now I will dry that with my heat gun. I found out that this is the fastest way. Of course, you can let it air dry like the other piece, but with the heat gun it will be no problem. Okay, so now this is dry, and this also, and I think these both patterns match each other really, really beautifully. I know they are really different, but I think it makes sense together in the end. So now I would like to add to this bigger piece here some little scraps. I will leave this like it is so that I can show you the difference. I mean, you could, of course, also, if you have such small labels on this sheet, you could also add some scraps here to this. It's totally up to you, but I would like to show you the difference with scraps and without. So I will just take one of my journaling cards. So these come from the Ocean Eyes ephemera pack as well. And look at this. Oh. And I will just tear these and make some scraps. In this case, I will make some, yeah, nearly rectangled shapes. And here I also try to fill up some of the empty areas. Of course, when you have such a big sheet and you try, whoopsala, what's that? Go away. And you try some stenciling, then sometimes, of course, the stencil is not as big as the sheet is. So we want to break these straight lines here a little bit where the pattern of the stenciling ends, and bring a little bit more interest to this whole sheet, because we will cut it later. Yes, you heard right. And I will try to cut that blind so that I can't see where I'm cutting, but I will show you that in a second. And the reason why I have chosen this washi tape that matches these colors is that I now can reuse it, that it, yeah, in the first step, it has hold my stencil to the desk, and now I can use it for decorating this sheet here. So this will be, in the end, this will be some kind of a, yeah, I'm afraid to call it a masterboard because I think it's not a real masterboard. But I'm not so sure about those definitions. And yeah, what is a masterboard? You collage to a sheet of paper and then in the end you cut it. But I'm not totally sure if this is really the same. Yeah, but call it like you want it and make a collage and be happy. Sometimes I really hate those definitions and these really difficult words, because this is, yeah, meant to be a relaxing and fun process, of course, and we don't want to get in trouble with ourselves because of these words, of course not. When this is dry, you can take your paper trimmer. I've chosen this one here. I'm so proud and I'm so happy. Margaret, thank you so much again. So this is not only an ordinary paper trimmer, but it makes really cool edges. You will see that in a second. And now I would like to trim this to a smaller size so that I have several smaller pieces out of this one label sheet. And for that, I'm turning it around so that I can't see where I cut. Yeah, please do that. When I first saw that, I think Barbara, hi Barbara, from 49 Dragonflies, she did that. So I mean, I saw it in one of her videos for the first time. And when I saw that, I was like, oh my goodness, what is she doing? It's, oh my goodness. I thought she will destroy her complete, in that case, it was a masterboard. I thought now it will be, yeah, destroyed. But she got such amazing results. It was, yeah, really, really cool. So from that day, I cut my things always like so. So first I've cut this little edge here from the outside of the paper, because here you can see what this machine is making. It's cutting this really cool, yeah, distressed edge like you would have when you tear this with one of these tearing rulers, and that's really cool. So I want to have this edge, of course, all around my labels. And now I'm eyeballing this. So I take a size that's a little bit bigger than this separate labels here. Of course, you can do that like you want it. It's totally up to you. But I wanted to show you some different sizes here. I mean, these are now a little bit smaller than what I'm cutting here, so that you can see the difference and, yeah, decide which size you probably want to do for your own projects, so that we have, yeah, some kind of a variety of different sizes. Okay, so let's see what we have here now. I'm really excited because it's always really, really, yeah. Okay, so look at this. Oh my goodness. This is really cool. And you can also, when you see that, turn that around. I like to do that. And sometimes you get the feeling how this is meant to be. I mean, the direction it's meant to be. So for me, this has to go like so. I don't know why this looks like, now it looks not like a flower anymore, but this looks like some sun that's underwater. I don't know why, but here are, yeah, can you see that? Here's the water, the sun is underwater, here's the beach. Don't know why this has to be like so, but it has to be like so. And then I take it and I place it to my table like so, in the direction that that my emotions tell me that it has to be. Oh, this is also really cool. I love this abstract edge here. And this flower is, some kind of a center point here. Don't know if that will stay there until the end, but let's see how this has to be. I think, probably like so. What do you think? Or like this? Let's do it like so. Okay, so yeah, let's see. Of course, you can also later on change this, of course. This is also really, really beautiful. For the next step, you can take some materials from your stash. So that can be everything. I mean, you could use some lace or some ribbon, some more paper scraps, of course, some sari silk or whatever. And I'm just searching for this. My goodness, where is it? I'm searching for this. Das gibt's doch jetzt nicht. Sorry, I have to say some words in German so that this thing comes to my eye. Where is it? Ah, here. Okay, so it was hidden behind my ephemera holder. So I have some cheesecloth here, and I really like that with this underwater themed things. I mean, this is, yeah, if you do it like so, moment. If you do it like so and you destroy it a little bit, it looks like this fishing net material. So, yeah, like so. And then you can, have it like so and place it somewhere where your feeling says it has to be there. For example, here. And I like to use several pieces of the same material to get a context to these pieces. I mean, we have the context with the colors, the washi tape, the scraps, the stamping, and so on. But I also want to have the other materials that I use to match each other. These things will not go on the same page to my journal. Of course not. That would be way too much. But I can bring something like a color bridge to my whole journal by adding them to several different pages. And when you see the same materials over and over again, I mean, not too much, but yeah, you know what I mean, in some spots, then this context will be given to your brain, and that can make a journal to be a whole thing, to be one. To make this thing here and collage some materials, for me it's easier to cut this sheet into the single labels. Of course, you can also leave this as a whole sheet if you like to do that, but for me it's easier to cut this. So let me just do that, and I will not do all in this video, but I will place some here so that you can see the difference between this technique that we did and this. So let me do it like so. Here I have a little piece, and you can also use such small pieces that you have in your stash. And of course, for this underwater theme, I think, yeah, some kind of lace always fits really well. So I think sometimes it needs only some tiny pieces of something, not much, but of course you can also overload this a little bit. I mean, for example, you could use also those bigger pieces of lace. I have some of these here, and I'm not totally sure if it's a good idea to put them here. I have put some on the pieces that I've made before for the German version of the video, and there, I don't know why, I had the feeling that it had to be like it was there. So I mean, I made, for example, where is it here? This one here with this little butterfly. Look at this. But the background of this told me that I have to do it exactly like so. And yeah, so I did it. And sometimes the pieces are a little bit calmer and not so loud speaking to you, but yeah, I think this looks really nice. I put some of this really old fabric here underneath as well, and that looks so wonderful. I just love it. And I just searched if I have a second die cut of this butterfly, but I don't have one. So perhaps we can make something similar here, because I think I really like that. But until now I don't know how to manage that, but let's see. Perhaps we can, these are not so butterflyish, but perhaps, look at this, perhaps we could just cut this and the other one here from the other side. So sometimes of course you can, sometimes you will create some masterpieces. Do you know what I mean? And you will not be able to do that a second time. But of course you can take this idea and this, yeah, kind of inspiration to try to do something similar again. Why not? So if it doesn't work, nothing is lost. So I mean, yeah. Yeah, and I'm not sure if that will be possible here. That's also a thing. I have a really big problem with that. So I mean, I was really proud of this thing, and I was really happy that I have it and that I have shown it in my other video. And now I'm sitting here and I'm doing the same things again. And when I have not such beautiful things and I think, okay, that looks some kind of normal, then I have a problem. And that's the reason why I'm showing you this. And sometimes it's not, yeah, possible to reconstruct such effects. But yeah, look at this. That's not the same. No. No. That is not the same. So let's try to, but I like this pattern of this brown piece underneath, but it's too regular. I think the other one is only such beautiful because it's such irregular. So let's take one off. Let's put this piece here, like so. This underneath so that it has a little bit more contrast as well, like so, a little bit more chunky, and then perhaps put that here. Yeah, okay, so I think that is much better. I think I like that. What do you think about that? I think I like this. So yeah, okay, it's not as beautiful as the other one, but you know, perhaps we can, no. So I also have these green stars here. So I mean, I have this little bowl here next to me. I've collected some things that would make sense to add to those pieces and to the journal itself. And I've collected really different things. I mean, also those butterflies that don't match this ocean theme, but the color. And I think, or this thing here. Oh, that's cool. Oh, perhaps this is the solution for our seahorse. Let's see. No. Okay, so I lost my words. What did I want to say? I've collected some things that not necessarily match the theme, but the colors and the structure and that stuff, and I put them into this little bowl so that I have them on hand while I'm working on this journal. So probably I would not think about this element that I have in my cupboard when I just sit here and think about what I want to do. But when I have it on my desk and in this little bowl, then I will use it. And yeah, that was my thought behind collecting these things before I start journaling, and before I start not journaling, but my journaling process, making the journal. Oh my goodness, sorry. Arg. Okay, so this is cool, I think. And of course, we could also use these circles that we have in the ephemera pack. So with the digital ephemera pack, we have this 4 circles, and we can also use those as focal points or part of this collage thing. I think this would be not bad, like so. Okay, so I think I'm nearly satisfied with this. This looks really strange until now, I know, because I've only layered this here and nothing is glued until now. So that makes, yeah, it look a little bit strange. But now, in a second, hopefully everything will make sense. I will take my glue gun now and glue those pieces down. And of course, if something has moved a little bit, I can correct it while I'm gluing this. And now I will explain you how we will use these little things here. So these have some things from the background, but so that they are matching the rest, but these are, yeah, those how do you say that in English, this sherry on the cream. I think that's the right word, hopefully. So when I have this piece here and I want to glue this down, I first think about where to put these little things, and especially which of those I want to use here. So I look, for example, here to this little edge, and I think, okay, perhaps here something is missing. So I can decide which of these labels I want to use. Just take it, so I've just chosen this one, and place it here and just glue it. And please look now to this edge. I think it has totally changed, and not only this edge, but the whole piece. And also here, we can decide if we perhaps want to put one of these little things below the seahorse. I think that would make sense to break this white a little bit. So for that plan, let me just try to lift this up. And first glue this white stuff here down. on the chin of the seahorse. Don't know if you can see that. It looks like a little pearl that's on his neck. That also, yeah, it's some kind of an accident, but I think you don't have to worry about that because that's art. You know. Okay, so let's try to get that there. Okay, so I think this looks really cool, but we have 1, 2 of these little labels that we've made in the beginning. So I think we can put a third one here, perhaps, or perhaps a half one. So, I mean, this would be a little bit too much, but I think if we do it like so and then tear this, yeah, I think that's great. So I would say this is finished. Now I have to get rid of this thing here on my finger. So let's take this smaller piece here, perhaps. Can put that, for example, like so, here to the edge.
Cuando te miro, me siento como si estuviera en el cielo. Me siento como si estuviera tocando el cielo. Cuando te toqué, cuando te miro, me siento como si estuviera en el cielo. Me siento como si estuviera tocando el cielo. Cuando te toqué. Cuando te miro, me siento como si estuviera en el cielo. Me siento como si estuviera tocando el cielo. Cuando te toqué, cuando te miro, me siento como si estuviera en el cielo. Me siento como si estuviera tocando el cielo. Cuando te toqué.
Okay, so here we go. As you can see, the most of these little embellishments, these little labels are finished now. I will show you some details about that in a second. And as you also can see, some of these are not glued. So, I mean, these are the ones that I was not so satisfied with when I saw that, and I didn't want to glue that. So I thought, okay, I don't want to do that because I want to do that and I want to have it finished. So do you know what I mean? But I want to wait for the right thing to do with it. When I don't feel comfortable to glue this, then I don't do it. And I am happy about these things, and I am happy about every single piece that I have here on my desk. And when I think, okay, this is not the right place, I don't like it, then this goes back here. This goes back to my little pieces of, you know, lace and that stuff. And this thing here later on goes back to my ephemera holder. So I've shown you my little ephemera holder thing, which I'll show you in a second again. And also this thing here, I haven't used it. It goes back to the ephemera, and so I can, yeah, reorganize these things and put them back so that I can find them when I probably need them. So I take my little ephemera holder here. So I've shown you also a tutorial how to create such an ephemera holder. If you have missed that, please check out my last videos. There you will find it, and also in the playlist of this little Ocean Eyes series here on my channel, you can find that video how to make such a thing. And here's all my ephemera inside the ephemera from the printable kit, and I will just put that here. And also these little things will go into this ephemera holder later so that I can take them out when I need them. And what I want to do with them, and oh, of course, also these that are left over can go into this little thing as well, so that I have them on hand when I need them. And these little things here are meant to use on my junk journal pages later, of course. So now I like to do it like so, that I put my papers that I have collected for my journal, like so, to my table. And then I like to play around a little bit. Even if I don't have folded these pages, and even if I don't have any signatures yet, I like to take these papers and I like to try out how this will look when I would put it somewhere here. Are the colors matching? Or, yeah, is the texture matching this thing? And this can be, I think, really, really helpful to find the next steps, what you want to do with your materials and how you would like to go on. For example, if I see this, I think this would be a perfect, yeah, bigger pocket. So if I would glue this label here, then I can cut this scrapbooking paper with the seahorses like so and make a pocket out of this so that I can put something in here. So I could prepare this piece of ephemera, I mean this pocket, by gluing this, cutting that, making a little hole here, and then I have my pocket. And so I have a next step that I can do. Do you understand what I mean? I don't know. It's so hard for me to explain because it's such an emotional and intuitive thing. Yeah, sometimes I'm sitting here for hours in front of my papers and I'm, yeah, looking at what I have created. Then perhaps I see something like this and think, okay, there's red. I have to get some context with the red. And I'm discussing some things with myself. And probably this would be a little bit better. I think that would be really great with this, even if this is, yeah, some kind of a red-orange and this is red. But yeah, you know, you could bring it into a context. And sometimes I'm really sitting here for hours, and especially when I'm a little bit tired, like today, I get some ideas how this can look in the end. And that's also a part of the process. Even if I don't take this protection paper here and use this sticky side to stick that somewhere in this moment, I will not do that now. But it's a part of my process, and I think for all of you who are new to junk journaling or who are struggling with how to go on, how to come into this creative flow, I think it's a really important thing. I mean, of course, I can only talk about my own experiences. I can only talk about my own feelings and my own way to do that. But perhaps it's, yeah, some kind of helpful if you just try to do it and just relax, take a cup of coffee or tea or whatever, and just, yeah, nearly like a child, play around with your stuff and see how this can be arranged. And even if you have such papers. This was the paper that I have used on my jelly plate to remove the color, I mean the paint, in between of this plastic lace and this lace that I have used. But why not using this as a background for such a label? Perhaps not such a big one or such a loud one like that with the seahorse, but why not using it like so? And there are so many possibilities. And yeah, what I just want to say is play around a little bit also with these things that we've made in the last video. What is this? How can I use it? Perhaps you are asking that as well. So when I perhaps put this here, or perhaps better here, would this now make sense to you? Like so. I mean, these things or any other embellishment that can also be a pocket here or whatever can bring a piece of a piece like this gel print and this area of brush color together. I mean, this looks a little bit strange, yeah, where this both mediums are meeting. But if you put something like this, like so, or glue this to a pocket so that you can put something behind, or make this whole technique on, not on a label paper, but on a normal piece of cardstock or on a, yeah, like a masterboard or whatever, so that you have a normal backside, then you can make a pocket out of this and you can put something here. Would that make sense to you? I mean, so this is not finished now, but would this make sense to you now when this is like so? Hopefully. And as I said, it's so hard for me, not only because of this crazy English language, but it's so hard for me to explain my thoughts, because often it's, yeah, something that you can't explain, that you feel and that you can't express with words. And yeah, okay, so I think also this one here. So you have seen this here, I think, in the last video, and or some kind of a glossy paper. This comes from such a nature picture book, and it's really, yeah, relatively new, so that these pages are really glossy. We made this little stripe here with the jelly plate, so that is matte now, and it's yeah, looks like an accident. But if you have this, and you would probably, so I have to search for, yeah, I think this one, and you would put this here, then hopefully this whole thing that we did makes sense. And what's also interesting about these little embellishments, and especially these labels that you can stick down, is that you can, yeah, take some of them and you have a really hard decision which one to take. This would work as well. And I think you will see that later when I stick these down to my pages, when I know where I have to, where I want to put that. I can't decide that when the camera is recording. I have to be one with myself, and I can't have any people around me. And when I'm speaking here, you are here with me, and I can't do that with you. I have to do that alone. So do you know what I mean? But later on, you will see that when these are sticked down, that will be such a great thing, because this paper, so perhaps we can stick one down. Oh my goodness. Then I have to decide that now. Okay, so I think that's a premiere on my channel. Definitely. I think we will take this one, because this little thing here fits perfectly to these flowers here. The color is the same. It looks, yeah, this has to go here. So yeah, but I think I have to try that. I wanted to show you something that's really interesting about this label things. So I will take this one, even if I think that's the other one is the better one. But I want to demonstrate something to you. So let me just put this out of the way, because when you stick those labels down to the page, they get some crazy transformation, I would say, because you could think, okay, I can do this here on a normal cardstock as well, I mean, or on a scrapbooking paper, and use that as a base and then glue it with a glue stick. But it is not the same. You will see that in a sec. Hopefully you will see that in a second. So I will just take this off. And so, I mean, of course, these labels, that's interesting as well. These labels, of course, are really handy, really easy to use, because you don't have to use any glue stick. You can just take this off and then you have it. Then you have your sticky surface. I mean, how easy can that be? It's really easy. I think when I glued this, originally I had it like so. And now, and that's also strange, isn't it? No, also, now I use it like so. Strange. And now, hopefully, you can see that. When this is glued down, and this, I think, perhaps I'm strange, but I think it depends to this label paper that I've used. Now, this is one with the background, even if it's a third layer. I mean, this paper is layer number 1. This acrylic paint is layer number 2. This label thing is layer number 3, but it looks like it is one with the background. Can you see that? And I think you can use any paper that you want. You will not get this effect. Yeah, I'm sure. But perhaps I'm totally strange. Yeah, but that's for me a really cool thing with these labels. And yeah, so I have to stop this now. Otherwise, I think you are running away. I hope, I'm really hoping that you could learn something new and that you like this and that you are as thrilled about this as I am. Because, yeah, I really love these things. Whew, okay, so you will see these things in one of the next videos or several of the next videos. While I don't use them and I don't need them at the moment, I can put them here into my little ephemera holder. As I said, if you have missed the tutorial on how to make such an ephemera holder out of some old books, then please check out my tutorial on that. And yeah, I store them here. I told you already that I also want to change my organization of my craft desk during my process of making a junk journal a little bit. So I will also yeah, give you some tips or tricks, or tell you something about what I found out that works for me during this Ocean Eyes Junk Journal series. I think there are some things that I already found out that work and that work not. And I would also like to, yeah, encourage you to see those things as well and perhaps listen to me. And I don't want to teach you something. I don't want to say, make such a thing and your life will be happy for the rest of your life. You know, that was nonsense. Sorry. You know what I mean. But I would like to encourage you to try out things for your own craft desk and for your own organization. And I would like to encourage you to see if that works for you, what I'm doing here. Yeah, so hopefully that makes sense. Okay. I think I have to sleep now. I wish you a very creative time. And please don't forget to check out Francesca's video, Junk Journal Joy, on YouTube. The link is down below in the description box. There you can find out some other designs and some other ideas for this little decorative labels. If you want to see that, please check that out. And hopefully we will see you the next time. Stay healthy and see you. Bye bye.